We are looking at game number 4. The score right now is 2-1. Team Sharzntski is in the lead, aka Team 1. We've got Thierry's Scooter Gang on the other side, again down 2-1, heading into game 4. We've got Trejo subbing back in, so it looks like Homer is sitting this one out. And on the side of Sharzntski, Wheezy is subbed back in, so Silic is sitting this one out. Captain change this game. Limp is captaining. So the game here is Barons. Capture the flag. So obviously the objective there is to take the enemy's flag, make sure you don't lose anything to your flag. Right away, we see a couple of interesting things on Limp's trade. So first thing is 0 archers. He's got 4 morts, 4 locks, and max pus. If we flip over here, he's also got only 2 thrall on D. So obviously anything slipping through would be a disaster. If we flip over to Sharzntski's side, much more traditional trade. But I think this is also more traditional for Last Man on the Hill, which is where this is normally played. Looking at this, we've got 12 archers, 4 locks, 2 morts, and then significantly less warriors. So we've got a full 20 warriors on Lim's side, and we've got 10, so fully half as many, as well as half as many morts. You do see 1 extra goal on the side of Sharzntski. So, a few ways this could play out. Obviously, with that many more warriors, you do have to worry a bit about a rush. It is hard to rush on this just because both terrain, the pus, the morts, the locks, pretty easy to defend. So I think the other part of this is just, are the archers going to be able to generate a sustained push anywhere? Anyway, I guess we will find out. Just fast forwarding a little bit here. Pretty standard distribution, not much to see. From a lineup perspective, again, I think Edge goes on the full 8 over to Seeker's team, or Team Limp in this case. Trejo being one of the newer folks. By newer, I mean in his return to competitive myth. Obviously, Trejo's been around a long time. He's just getting back into the swing of things. As well as Impy. Where on the side of Team Sharzntski, we've got Killer King and Wheezy. Fast forwarding a bit. So interesting. So Limp's strategy here seems to be a really wide spread. This does a couple of things. Warriors are a lot more mobile than archers. And so you've got Asmo and Thierry stretching out very wide west. You've got PK, Zach, and Retless stretching out very wide east. So pretty standard setup initially from Sharzntski's team. But what you're going to see, they start off wide because, again, you've got to make sure as Shyster scouts west, nothing sneaks by. But you're going to end up with archer squads that are very separated from each other. So the key is basically now each individual squad's got to win, because if any squad loses or gets pushed in, the warriors that win that flank will have a much faster track to the flag. From a fight perspective, it looks like mid would be the area you would think Sharzntski's team might have an advantage. We've got Argos and Vaz here. You really would be pushing into a lock and a mort. That said, they are risking, if they push too far, getting collapsed in on. So you can see why they would be a bit hesitant to do that. Looks like first action of the game. I'm not sure where Killer King is looking. But unfortunately, Zach is able to snipe that lock pretty easy. That's 1 of 2 units, so maybe Killer King was AFK. He's probably microing this pus, if I had to guess what was going on. Zach telling everybody what's up in all chat, screaming out Zacht, trying to inspire his team. You see Asmo has drugged Shyster all the way up north. So I like this play. I mean, it's pretty even percent. But from a BC perspective, Shyster really needs to do a lot of heavy lifting on this team. Asmo having him pulled all the way north, but not really in any danger of being killed by him, I think is a good play for Limp's team. Garrick is facing off against Thierry. Not a lot Thierry can do to push into this. He can threaten, but again, same as the others, you don't want to get collapsed on. Another good shot here from Zach, this time taking out Wheezy's Mort. So at this point, Wheezy and Killer King have pretty much been eliminated. Good shot here from Limp, and all of a sudden, in the span of just a couple minutes, Limp's team is now opened up a 15% lead. So we see, PK still threatening to go very far east. Ours is now fighting on two fronts since, the Mort mid with Wheezy and the lock east with Killer King have both been taken out. More stalling happening west. None of these people on either team have lost a single unit. Same can be said for Argos as he's hanging out mid. Just kind of getting in the way. Vass has lost a lot of any kill pressure he had on Limp or Impy here mid. Just losing those two archers puts him in a pretty tough spot. Not a lot going on, a lot of dancing. At this point, we've got 7 minutes left. So 15% lead for Limp's team, but they've still got a long way to go to get to the flag. So good pass and good lock shot here from Argos. Manages to erase part of that percent lead and take down Impy. So what we've seen here is that some of those substitute players are getting picked on just a bit. It is early in the tournament, so I think all around we're going to see these folks get a little bit more used to playing and improve. That's what we always see in these draft tournaments. More dancing, combined percentage-wise, 30% versus 32%. So Shyster and Garrick are actually holding slightly more of a percent up here, but they're down overall. So it's not enough of a difference to make up for the fact that they're losing elsewhere. PK still putting pressure here far east. Stalemates everywhere else. We do see Killer King coming in here with a pass. Manages to get the bus down on Retless's Mort. A couple of warriors go down. Mort is able to survive, though it is quite red. Not a whole lot else going on. It's more dancing. Retless doing some impressive dodging there. One arrow and that Mort would go down. Donsky's threatening from behind here with a pus, but it's not going to be anything that is too big of a problem. Ours has had to collapse mid. So one of the reasons ours had to collapse mid is Vassil, as we saw, lost a couple of those archers. He got pushed back pretty hard. You're also seeing Argos trying to collapse over onto north. Vass, I think, kind of makes a mistake here. He pushes too far in. By pushing in, he's letting Zach get pressure here mid. So ours is feeling compelled to come in. And so now ours is split, basically fighting 3 different folks. So not a great position for him. Meanwhile, Shyster and Garrick, again, doing a good job not dying, but they're not really able to do anything else. Vass does pull back, but at this point now he's in a weird spot. So again, ours is kind of pulling more and more mid to try to support him. What this does eventually is it lets PK get a Puskull and his Warlock now flanked around. The flag's not in any imminent danger at this point, but with 2 minutes left, it is something that they've got to really think about. Argos does come back over to support East. I think this is probably a little bit late, so maybe a miscommunication error. Vaz is also still way too far forward. I mean, you've just got 2 archers. You really should be further back. Ours starts to shadow PK here, but he is under threat from this pass. So, he ends up running closer to mid to kind of unify with his forces, which is okay, except for the fact that, Shyster and Garrick here still have not retreated. So they're obviously quite busy microing their units. I would say in team chat, you would hope everyone is yelling for a collapse back to mid, because right now you've got 2 Puskulls, one from Limp, one from PK, another from Retless. So in total of 3 pus plus a lock plus a Mort pressuring a flag that's only got 4 thrall. R sees this here in just a second. I think, PK expected ours to come sooner. He could have actually shot these thrall already and applied even more pressure. But this is the moment where I think ours definitely sees it, knows he's got to come quickly. We did miss a bit of a rush here. It looks like Asma was able to do a number on Shyster's retreating units. Again, with the flag under pressure, that applies a lot of pressure. So a couple of funny outcomes here. Flag's contested. So right now, you've got one throw on the flag. You got R's retreating quickly. Vaz is coming in. The lead is still only 14%. So anybody's game at this point. You do have a pass from Wheezy coming in. Garrick is helping to let Scheister back out with just a couple of remaining units. Puss goes down onto Ars's archers. Lockshot coming in here does take out the Mort from Ars, so good shot. Interesting here, so we have a Puss goal that's dancing. The Lockshot coming in misses pretty much everything. So again, one single contest goal is keeping this game alive. Lock dies, so now we've got Trejo doing a good job of running in. He just manages to contest that flag. So that's probably a quarter of a second before Zach's Lockshot takes him out. Unfortunate, to say the least. Also, this Puss stud, so it's kind of hard to see. I don't think it freezes this goal, but it's pretty close. And if that Puss stud freezes this goal, same thing. The contest doesn't happen and the game ends. As it is, Thierry is able to just barely, in the nick of time, contest. Good lock shot, good Mort shot to try to clean things up. And at that point, they're pushed outside of the flag radius. Good job from Zach and Limp winning that mid fight. I'd say PK and Retless, even though they don't lead on the damage charts, are going to be my MVPs of this game. That flank and pushing through to put pressure on the backside of that flag was really big. I'd say, other than the unfortunate loss of artillery, which kind of forced ours to pull mid, Vast was way too pushed up after he took that first archer lock shot to his archers. Should have backed up. I think that was, an unfortunate error. And so with that, we've gone from a 2-0 lead to a 2-2 series heading into a deciding game 5. And that is where we will pick up next.